March 24th, 1944. 18,000 feet above Germany. A man is on fire. His plane is on fire. And he is about to jump out of it with no parachute. This is not a mistake. This is a choice. Nicholas Alkemade was nobody special. Before the war, he was a gardener in Norfolk, England, grew vegetables, kept to himself, quiet life. Then World War II broke out, and everything changed. He joined the Royal Air Force and trained as an air gunner. His job was to sit inside a tiny, rotating glass turret bolted to the tail of a Lancaster bomber, the most dangerous seat on the most dangerous aircraft in the war. No armor, no escape route, just glass, guns, and 30,000 feet of open air beneath him. His crew named their bomber Werewolf. Fitting. By March 1944, Werewolf had survived 14 missions over Nazi Germany. Alkemade and his 6 crewmates were experienced, tight. They trusted each other completely. On the night of March 24th, they were given their 15th mission. Target: Berlin. Alkemade was locked inside his tail turret, scanning the black sky for enemy fighters, when Werewolf completed its bomb run over Berlin and turned for home. What he didn't know, what none of them knew, was that a German Junkers Ju-88 night fighter was already tracking them. At 11:57 p.m., it struck from below. Cannon fire tore through Werewolf's wing and fuselage. The starboard engines exploded. Jet fuel ignited instantly. Within seconds, the entire body of the plane was consumed in fire, burning so violently that the flames were visible from the ground 5 miles below. Inside the tail turret, the glass exploded outward. Alkemade was suddenly exposed to 120-mile-per-hour Arctic wind at -30 degrees Celsius. Ice crystals formed on his face. He couldn't breathe. Then he smelled something worse than cold. Smoke. He turned and saw it, fire pouring through the interior of Werewolf like a river. The pilot ordered everyone to bail out. One by one, the crewmates grabbed their parachutes and jumped. But Alkemade had a problem nobody else did. The Lancaster's tail turret was so small, so brutally cramped, that there was no room for a gunner to wear a parachute inside it. His parachute was stored separately, clipped to the wall just inside the fuselage door. He had to go through the fire to reach it. He opened the turret door. The heat hit him like a wall. The entire interior was engulfed. His uniform began to catch. He could see his parachute, just meters away, already burning, melting, disintegrating into useless black fabric. He pulled back and sealed the door. He was 18,000 feet above Germany. His plane was dying. His parachute was gone, and the fire was now eating through the door behind him. 2 choices: burn alive inside the plane, or jump. No parachute, no equipment, just a man and gravity. He fell at 120 miles per hour. The cold hit him so hard it was like being struck by a truck. The wind screamed past his ears. Far above him, Werewolf was a shrinking ball of orange fire. Nicholas Alkemade looked up at the stars, and he felt, strangely, calm. He had accepted it. This was the end. He would fall 18,000 feet, and it would be over in seconds. Fast, clean, better than burning. Then he lost consciousness. He woke up. He did not know how long he had been unconscious. He did not know where he was. He was lying on his back in deep snow, staring up at a dark sky full of stars. He moved his fingers. They worked. He moved his arms. They worked. He sat up slowly. He reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a cigarette, and lit it. Nicholas Alkemade had fallen 18,000 feet with no parachute, and his most serious injury was a sprained knee. What had saved him was a combination of factors so precise that if any single one had been different, he would have died. Young pine trees at the edge of the forest had slowed his descent, their flexible branches acting like a series of speed bumps through the air. Below them, untouched by sunlight, lay 18 inches of soft, deep snow that absorbed the final impact. 20 feet from where he landed, the ground was completely bare. 20 feet. He blew smoke at the stars and waited for someone to find him. German civilians heard his whistle and brought soldiers. He was captured and handed to the Gestapo for interrogation. He told them exactly what happened. They laughed at him, called him a liar, a spy. They insisted he had buried his parachute somewhere and was manufacturing a cover story. So Alkemade told them exactly where to look. He explained that if he had never pulled his ripcord, the metal handle and cable would still be sitting untouched in their container in the wreckage of Werewolf. They searched. They found the wreckage 20 miles away. The ripcord was exactly where he said it would be, never touched, still clipped in position. His parachute, still attached to the fuselage wall, was a burned skeleton of fabric and wire. The Gestapo issued him a signed certificate confirming his story was true. A certificate from the Gestapo confirming that a British soldier had survived falling 18,000 feet with no parachute. Nicholas Alkemade spent the rest of the war as a prisoner and became a legend inside the camps. After liberation, he returned home to England. He worked at a chemical plant, lived quietly, grew old. The man who once chose to fall 18,000 feet rather than burn died peacefully in 1987 at age 64. Some men are simply not meant to die on anyone else's terms.